Hiking in sandals? Are you crazy? Let's talk about that. All right, guys, today we're going to talk about hiking in Xero Sandals. That's Xero brand, not no sandals. We're going to test them out with Darn Tough socks and also with the Injinji toe socks. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to try out the Darn Tough socks first, and then tomorrow I'm going to try out the Injinji socks. So let's see how it goes. I've done a few inclines now, and the Xeros are perfect for inclines. My feet aren't slipping around. I think I've got the buckles all adjusted right and really smooth, really comfortable. One thing I've noticed about hiking in the Xeros, and I'm wearing Darn Tough socks, is that I seem to have the feeling that my socks are kind of rolling off my foot. I feel like my toes aren't up against the end of my sock. I'm gonna hike with it for a while to see if that feeling gets any worse. Because yeah, I don't like that feeling. Because that means my socks are coming off my feet while I'm hiking. But so far I'm hiking in different terrain for Michigan, you know, sand, gravel, some roots, and now I'm hiking on some grass. And they're comfortable all the way through. You just have to be a little more aware of where you're stepping. You don't want to step on like a larger kind of sharp stone, or you really want to try to avoid some of the roots because you feel everything through these. And in some ways that's nice, but that could also get painful after a while. And perhaps you just have to acquire that feel of hiking in them. But right now it's nice. My feet feel, you know, free and just not as confined as in a shoe. And I'm liking that right now. So it's confirmed. The socks are sliding off my feet pretty bad. Pretty uncomfortable that way. Not uncomfortable like it's gonna hurt or anything like that, but it's well, your socks are sliding off your feet. That's annoying. So I'm gonna try to do a couple adjustments on the Xeros. There's two different adjustments you can make. One's on the top of your foot and then the other one's on the heel. So I'm gonna try to just arrange those adjustments just a little bit to see if that will solve the sock sliding issue. Because if it does, then cool. It's just kind of a user error, and you have to figure out what works well for your feet. So we're gonna give that a shot. All right, you guys better get ready for a view. This view will knock your socks off. Okay, so I'm beginning the descent from that view you just saw, and I'm just gonna take the fast way down. It's probably not even a mile, but it's mostly downhill. So we're gonna see how the Xeros do while descending to see if the feet jam up too bad. I did find making some adjustments on the straps really helped the sock problem. I am still gonna come back out tomorrow and try the Injinjis because I think that's gonna be a lot better. I think that'll be the way to go. So let's begin the descent and see how they do. So as you can see, my feet have definitely slid forward a little bit on the descent. And this is not an incredibly steep descent. But it's more than just downhill too. So my toes definitely went over the edge of the sandal a little bit in the front, but not enough where it was uncomfortable or that I felt like I was falling out of my shoes. Now, if I was dealing with that all day or constantly throughout a trip, that may get a bit annoying, and I could see where that could start to cause some feet problems. I can't verify that because I don't think 5 miles has been enough to really test this. And really this descent is only gonna last about a mile at the most. So you could try a larger sandal, I guess, a larger size, but I think that could come with problems too. The sandal then could be too big. It could be hard to strap down tight enough. It may cause problems of judging where your toe of the sandal is. So you might catch roots and rocks, lose your footing that way. They may get too wide on your feet, so you're gonna slide around a bit more. So I think I've got the sizing right on the sandal. You're wearing a sandal, for crying out loud. You're gonna slide around a little bit. So going downhill, I don't think I should expect anything less than my toes maybe getting right to the edge or just barely over the edge, like I'm experiencing. But again, it doesn't seem to be causing any problems. My toes are not hitting the ground, they're just kind of wrapping over that top edge of the sandal as I'm going downhill here. All right, hey everyone, so this is day 2 of trying out the Xero sandals. I have switched to the Injinji socks to test how those go. I'm going to start off with the looser adjustments like I did yesterday with the Darn Tough socks, so we'll see how they go. If they start to loosen up or they come down on the heels at all, I'll tighten the Xeros back up just like I did with the Darn Tough, and we're going to see how these perform with the Xero sandals with the Injinji sock combo. I think this is going to work better than the Darn Tough socks, and I think it'll be more comfortable all around with just flat hiking, inclines, and descents. So, let you know in a minute. Okay, so I'm about a half mile in with my Injinji socks on. My pinky toe has pretty much come out of the pinky toe slot. However, that does not surprise me because I have extremely small pinky toes, and it's very tight to my other toe. So I didn't even notice it till I stopped and looked. Might be an indication though of my socks pulling off my feet. Now I do have the sandals on a pretty loose setting, so I'm gonna go, I don't know, maybe another 10-15 minutes and see what the socks do and see if I gotta pull them back up and tighten things back up. But so far, might be doing the same thing with the looser settings. More to come. Yeah, let's check. So tight, tight, tight. Kind of tight, and my pinky toe is almost all out of that hole. But that's where it was when I first stopped and checked. So looks like the Injinji socks will stay really nice and snug even with a looser setting of the sandal. So now I'm gonna re-snug up the pinky toe and my second toe. I'm gonna tighten stuff up and see if this happens again. That being said, don't even notice this unless I stop and look at it. So far, I really like this test. The Injinjis and the Xero sandals are a good match. Okay, so I'm doing my descent now, walking downhill with the Injinjis on with my sandals. And I'm noticing a big difference between the Injinjis and the Darn Tough socks when I'm going downhill. My feet are not sliding forward near as much with the Injinjis on. I think it's because it's thinner, fits a little tighter to your foot. Those Darn Tough socks have really nice padding on the bottom of the feet, and I think that causes the feet to slide a little bit. Not noticing that with these at all. So here's my final conclusion on the Injinjis along with the Xero sandals. They go together perfectly. The Darn Tough socks were good, but you really had to make sure the straps were really tight on your foot for the sock not to slide down on both your heel and the toes. Here's the pro. They're super simple to adjust. It's one strap on the heel and one strap on the top of your foot. It takes just a second. All you have to do is bend over and tighten or loosen it to your preference. Okay, so let's talk pros and cons. Pros of the Xero sandal for hiking. Super minimalistic, super lightweight, super easy to adjust on the fly. They go well with Darn Tough socks. They go really well with Injinji socks. So there's 4 or 5 really good pros right there. Another pro, they double up as a water shoe. They double up as a camp shoe. They are easy to take on and off when you take a break just to let your feet air out. Your feet are constantly having fresh air get at them the whole time, so you're not going to have some of that sweaty feet syndrome that you can get with shoes. Lots of pros there. Also, if you like to feel the trail, you're going to feel it with the Xero sandals. There's hardly any support on there. As my friend Doug at Backcountry Pilgrim puts it, it's like adding 10% more foot to your foot, and that's about it. So you feel everything. The cons are they're really minimalistic. They're super lightweight. They don't have a lot of support. You got to adjust the straps depending on probably you and the socks that you're wearing and the terrain you're in. You feel everything. There were a couple of times where I stepped on a couple sharper stones and maybe some larger rocks, ones that would be a little bit smaller than the palm of your hand. And they kind of hurt. Not where you go, ow, but they kind of make you have that knee-jerk reaction of kind of buckling your knee a little bit to take the weight off real quick. And I'm thinking if you're hiking for several miles that way, that's going to, 1, get old, but 2, probably start to hurt your feet a little bit and potentially cause injury. So I guess another con with that is that your legs, your ankles, your knees, your feet are absorbing everything while you're hiking. So I think if you're a larger guy, that could not be a good thing. I don't think I would use these on a multiple day high mileage hike. Now, I've used them back-to-back days on a about 5 mile and 3-4 mile. I didn't measure today, but just thinking the time out I've been. So back-to-back days, 9 miles total. I feel good, but there are moments where I'm starting to feel where maybe this is impacting me just a little bit, or I'm feeling the impact on my body. So for that reason, I would not use these on high mileage, multiple day hikes, but good for day hikes. So what about you guys? Have you used Xero shoes for hiking? What do you think of those? What do you think of the idea? Good idea, bad idea, safe idea, unsafe idea? I'd like to hear about that in the comments. Leave those below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. And thanks for visiting the channel. I hope you found this review helpful, and I'll see you guys on the trail. Thanks a lot for visiting.